Let's move on to the 5 takeaways and see what 5 things we can take away from that 1-1 draw at Leicester. Up first is Solanke's debut.
Yeah, and Solanke was the first time, we saw him in a Spurs shirt. First 90 minutes, we were able to see him play for Tottenham. And look, I thought it was a really good debut by all accounts, apart from those gilt-edged opportunities, which he'll definitely be having some sleepless nights over, because he definitely should have buried probably one of them, and he'll be disappointed that he didn't, especially the one where he took a touch to the right of the defender and could have either aimed it at the far post or banged it at the near post, and he hit it straight at the keeper. But I did think he definitely made a big difference to our attacking play in the forward line, and I did think he made a big difference when it came to how we were able to keep the ball in the final third and create opportunities. He had 8 touches in the box, which was second only to Heung-min Son, which is a big difference, I feel like, from when Son and Richarlison were playing in that forward line. They couldn't have as many touches in the box as Solanke showed. I thought his hold-up play was really, really good. So I thought he actually made a material difference to the front line, but he needs to score those opportunities. But I'll give him a pass because it was his first game. And I'm sure if we give him those opportunities again, he'll probably put one in the way. But I was really encouraged by his overall performance. Yeah,
it was a very encouraging debut. It really was. It's something that we haven't seen from a number 9 for a very long time, probably since Harry Kane. And I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Harry Kane, or he is anywhere close to the quality of Harry Kane. But what he did show us was hold-up play, dribbling ability, the way he can link up and bring other players into play. He showed actually some traits which I never knew he had to that kind of level. So yeah, it is only against Leicester, but and I hope he can replicate that on against better teams and bigger teams. We've got the bigger test coming up soon with Newcastle away and Arsenal at home, but he's got to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what it's always going to come down to. And if he shows all these traits and doesn't put the ball in the back of the net, he's going to be judged on that, and he won't last very long here.
Well, obviously, if he's going to struggle to score goals, then that's what we bought him for. But we'll see. We'll see how he gets on.
Yeah. Let's move on to number 2, and that is Maddison returning to form.
Yeah, and I thought it was a really encouraging first 45 minutes for Maddison. Definitely some of the best work he's done since the early part of last season, where he really shone at the beginning. And I think the stats back up as well. 2 out of 2 dribbles, 3 key passes, 3 out of 6 ground duels won, and also capped off his first game of the season with his first assist of the season with a really good cross to Pedro Porro. So really good stuff from James Maddison, and I thought it was really encouraging how he was getting those little pockets of space. He was looking a lot sharper as well. Like those moments of magic from Maddison, which we saw first 10 games, were returning in this one. Little clips round players and little flicks, I should say, where he was goes one way and
just
and
quick passing and moving,
getting the ball into Solanke, and I think his quality on the ball as well when it comes to creating chances was definitely a lot better. Obviously, we'd like to see him taking 1 or 2 more shots, but really encouraging from James Maddison.
Yeah, something that we saw him do consistently in the Leicester side, but then since moving to Spurs, he just doesn't take those shots consistently. Even when he was on his best form in the first 10 games of the season, it was still a criticism that we had of him. So hopefully he can start adding that to his game, but he hasn't as of yet under Ange. But yeah, I completely agree. Back at it, back to those levels that we saw first 10 games of the season. And I was getting quite worried because the level of performance in pre-season wasn't great from Maddison. But it's great to see first game of the season, he's completely back at it. Let's hope it can last. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to number 3, and that is goal-scoring Porro.
Yeah, and Pedro Porro, I thought, had a really good start to the game and a really good start to the season here as well. Got himself on the score sheet, and actually, with that goal, no player now has got more goal contributions than Pedro Porro. No defender, since joining the Premier League. And considering when you hark back when we signed Pedro Porro, obviously he was a good attacking fullback. But we definitely credited his good attacking play, and now we're sitting here 18 months later, and no player has got more goal contribution, no defender has got more goal contributions than him since joining. I think it's a testament to how good he is going forward and how good he is on the ball. Brilliant goal as well from him, but wasn't just that. He had 4 key passes on the day, more than anyone else on the pitch, which shows how creative he is. 2 out of 4 crosses completed as well. And a really solid opening game from Pedro Porro. And I think last season he got close to 10 goal contributions, and I think he'll want to improve on that because he's got the quality to do so.
And you're talking about a league with the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold in it, when people say, from an attacking perspective, he could be the best Premier League right back of all time, and Pedro Porro is getting better attacking numbers than him at the moment, so that is super impressive. It's not just his crossing ability and his goal threat ability, which I really love, but it's his switches of play as well, which I felt really do a service for us. So Pedro Porro, brilliant right back, and I think he's had a really good pre-season, and he's backing that up in the Premier League now as well. So let's move on to number 4, and that is lacking killer instinct.
Yeah, and in terms of statistically how we performed attacking wise yesterday, when you're comparing us to the rest of the Premier League, I know it's the only first game of the season, but when you're comparing us to how we performed, we were top of the Premier League for touches in the box, touches in the attacking third, tackles in the attacking third. We were third for shot creating actions. We were third for key passes. So really aggressive, really on the front foot. Obviously, I know against a promoted side maybe expect that, but obviously it goes to show the intent that we had. But with all those stats, we only ranked 11th for the XG, and that's because we got into a number of positions where we probably should have had shots on goal or should have probably finished opportunities, and we ended up probably playing an extra pass or overplaying it a bit, and that led to why that XG number was probably lower than it should have been. Not because we didn't get in a number of opportunities to create goal-scoring opportunities or a number of chances, but because we probably got into a lot of opportunities where we were guilty of overplaying and guilty of not taking the shot when we should have. I think definitely Kulusevski was guilty of that. There was that moment in the second half where Son took that really heavy touch where he had a really good chance to get a shot on goal, and those two opportunities coupled again with the couple with Solanke as well, where he could have had a swivel and shot and decided to lay off for a teammate. And if you look at those opportunities, those would have probably been really high XG chances if we actually had shots on goal. So I think that lack of killer instinct to really take the shot instead of overplaying it like we did cost us quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's been a problem for us. It was a problem for us for a large chunk of last season. We need to find that killer instinct in this team, and we've got Solanke now. I know 65 million striker who scored 19 goals last season. We've got Sonny who got 17 goals last season. We've got Brennan who got 15 goal contributions last season. So we've got players that know how to do it and can do it. We just need them all to gel together and to be able to put the ball in the back of the net on a consistent basis, because I have no doubt in my mind that we've got the tools to do it now. We just need to show it on the football pitch on a consistent basis. But let's move on to the 5th and final takeaway, and that is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and I really felt like despite, Leicester, I've been looking at their team, and there is a lot of Premier League experience in that team, don't get me wrong. And I think there are some good Premier League players who've done well in the Premier League in the past in that team. The way they set up, especially in that first half, and how much control they gave us, regardless of the chance we created, we just should have been outside just because of how Leicester approached that game. They made it so easy for us, and we allowed us to create chances. And in terms of the chances they created, they had an XG on the day of 1.05 and 0.95 of XG was created in that 15-minute period. So apart from that 15-minute period, they created less than 0.1 XG. And that goes to show how little of the game they had. So what an opportunity it was for Spurs to really kill that game off. And there was a game where it was literally given to us on a plate, really, from Leicester on the day. And we just completely let it slip through our fingers. And it was a really good opportunity to start the day with start the season with 3 points. And we missed it with our own, not ability to kill the game off.
And it also shows you in that 15-minute period how bad we actually were to concede that high XG in that 15-minute period. So poor. And it goes back to the killer instinct, and it goes back to, in terms of missed opportunity, you look around. I know it's only the first game, so maybe don't take this too much to heart, but every single one of our rivals won this weekend in the top 6.
And comfortably as well.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So there you have it. That is your 5 takeaways from the game against Leicester.